In the late 1960s, Northern California fell under the shadow of a killer who taunted the police, mocked the press, and terrified millions. He called himself the Zodiac, a phantom who attacked without pattern, vanished without trace, and left behind ciphers that remain unsolved to this day. For years, he played a twisted game with law enforcement, pushing a nation into fear and fascination. This is the true story of the Zodiac Killer, one of the most mysterious criminals in American history. Our story begins on December 20th, 1968, on a lonely stretch of road near Vallejo, California. A teenage couple, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, were on their first date. They never made it home. Sometime that night, an unknown man approached their parked Rambler station wagon. What happened next would mark the first confirmed attack by the Zodiac, a cold, calculated double shooting. 7 months later, on July 4th, 1969, another young couple was targeted. Darlene Ferrain and Michael Mageau were sitting in a car when a vehicle pulled up behind them. A man stepped out. He fired multiple rounds, leaving Darlene dead and Mageau critically wounded. But what happened next set this case apart. 40 minutes after the attack, the killer called the Vallejo Police Department. Calm, emotionless. He not only took credit for the shooting, he confessed to the murders from the previous year. On August 1st, 1969, 3 major newspapers received handwritten letters. Each letter opened with an eerie symbol, a circle with a cross through it, the birth of the Zodiac's calling card. Inside these letters were threats, confessions, and a 408-symbol cipher. The killer demanded each newspaper print his message or face more death. The public was gripped by fear and morbid fascination. A school teacher and his wife cracked the cipher. Its message, a chilling declaration of motive, murder as a source of pleasure. On September 27, 1969, the Zodiac struck again, this time at Lake Berryessa. The attack was brutally different. The killer approached a young couple having a picnic, wearing an execution-style hood and brandishing a knife. He tied them up and began stabbing them repeatedly. Before leaving the scene, he used a marker to sign his symbol and the dates of his previous attacks on the victim's car door. This was a killer who wanted to be feared and remembered. Just 2 weeks later, the Zodiac struck again, this time in the heart of San Francisco. On October 11th, 1969, cab driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger. Minutes later, he was shot point blank in the head. A group of teenagers witnessed the killer wiping down the taxi and walking away, calm and collected. Their description birthed the only confirmed sketch of the Zodiac Killer. Over the next months and years, the Zodiac sent dozens of letters. Some included pieces of Stein's shirt, others included new ciphers, threats to attack school buses, and taunting messages to detectives. The killer seemed addicted to attention, always staying one step ahead, always craving the last word. Over time, several suspects emerged. Arthur Lee Allen, the most famous, was a troubled man with disturbing connections to the case. But no DNA, no fingerprints, and no confirmed proof ever tied him conclusively to the crimes. Lawrence Kane, Richard Gaikowski, Earl Van Best Jr. Even theories of multiple killers, each suspect had compelling clues and gaping holes. In 2020, one of the Zodiac's ciphers, the infamous 340, was solved by a team of code breakers. Yet the identity of the killer remained hidden. Other ciphers still remain unbroken to this day, leaving the possibility that the Zodiac's final message is still out there. More than 50 years have passed since the Zodiac Killer terrorized California. His letters stopped, the attacks ended, but his presence never truly faded. Some believe he died, others believe he simply grew old and blended into ordinary life. One thing remains certain: until a name is attached to the symbol, the Zodiac Killer will remain one of America's most haunting unsolved mysteries.